People would always ask me, how much can I make as an IT auditor, or how much does IT audit actually pay? And the answers they find online are either vague or outdated. Today, I'm going to be getting specific. I'm going to be breaking down what IT auditors actually earn at the big four firms year by year and how that compares to when you move into industry. I'm going to give you the real ranges, the real progression, so that you know exactly what you are walking into when you are getting into your IT audit career. Welcome to Layo's Academy. My name is Layo. I am an IT audit and risk professional and also a career coach. And this is the channel where aspiring IT auditors get real practical guidance for building their career in this field. If you are new here, please remember to subscribe. If you have been following me before, please make sure you like my video so that I can bring more videos to you. So now let's get into it straight away. So before I go into the actual numbers, let me explain the two different parts because there are different pay grades for these different parts. They look different on your career. Like what you will get in big four firms will be different from what you get in industry. What does big four mean? I've explained this in my previous videos. The big four, it means Deloitte, PwC, EY, and KPMG. They are the public accounting firms. When you start there as an IT auditor, you are working on external audit engagements across multiple clients. Like you're going to be working for other companies that they are consultants too. Okay, you're going to be working on multiple industries, you're going to be working on multiple frameworks. While I was at big four, I worked with financial institutions, I worked with telecommunication institutions, I worked with advert companies, I worked with SAS companies. So you work with different companies like while working in any of the big four. The exposure you get there is very broad and fast. That is one of the best places you can start your IT audit career for, because you're going to have experience across multiple industries and multiple clients. However, the hours can be demanding. Like, hey, especially during busy season, the workload is something else. Like, but yes, do they pay well? Yes, they pay well. And also, the name on your resume carries significant weight when you decide to move. If you have any of the big four firms on your resume, recruiters will be chasing you like a man chasing a woman. They will be chasing you all around. Okay. So when you decide to move, it's always an added advantage for you. Now, when we talk about industry, we are referring to you going directly into a company's internal audit function. You are think about Fortune 500 corporations, think about the banks, financial institutions, healthcare system, think about tech companies. Here, you are an employee of that organization, as against for the big four, where I said you are employees of the big four, but you'll be working with different companies that the big four is consulting for. So you in industry, you're going to be auditing from inside. You would know the business deeply, and then the work tends to be more focused, like it's going to be specific. Unlike big four, today you can be doing telecommunication company, the engagement ends, and then you start working with financial institution. But in industry, you will be working on specific, like it's just going to be that company. Okay, it tends to be more focused, and then there's more work-life balance in industry. The hours there are generally more predictable than big four. Both big four parts and industry parts are legitimate, like both of them pay very well. What matters is you understanding how the numbers compare, so you can decide and make the right choice of what or where you actually want to start from or go through. Now let's talk about year one. Year one, hey, congratulations, you just got the offer. You are starting as a first year IT audit associate at a big firm, or you're starting as maybe a staff IT auditor in an industry role. At the big four, like for the first year as an IT audit associate in the US, I'm going to be talking specifically about the US market, but I think on one of my materials, I spoke about other areas. I spoke about the UK, I spoke about Nigeria, I spoke about Canada. I'll try to put a link to those other resources there, but in this video, I'm specifically talking about the US market. So for first year in IT audio to say the pay would usually start from 72,000 to 85,000 in base salary. Base salary. That means there's going to be like bonuses and other things. And also that range would vary depending on the city where you are. There are places they call high cost or HCL, high cost of living areas like New York, San Francisco, Chicago. They are going to be at the top end, like their pay is going to be at the top end, while the mid market cities will land closer to the lower range, end of that range. Okay. Another thing is, like I said, the range here, 72 85,000, is base salary. So most organizations or companies will have sign on bonuses, particularly if it's in competitive hiring seasons where they need people, so they can always add a few $1,000s on top of the base. And then you can also get, aside the sign-on bonuses, you would also get like yearly bonuses, and these bonuses are usually huge. Sometimes for the yearly bonus you could get as much as 15,000, 10,000, 12,000, even as an entry level. So at the end of the day, your salary will be going to close to 90,000 or thereabout. And also for first year associate, remember to always ask for your sign-on bonus. Don't miss out on it. Your recruiter might not tell you. If you get an entry-level job in Big Four or in the industry, remember to always ask for your sign-on bonus. I remember when I got my Big Four job, the recruiter told me that, oh, you could get a sign-on bonus if you accept this offer right away. And I was so excited. The sign-on bonus was $10,000. I was so excited, and I kind of accepted. However, later on, when I was talking to my colleagues, I heard that I even shot myself in the foot. Other people got sign-on bonuses as high as 15,000 and 20,000, but because I was ignorant, I got only 10,000, and I was happy about it, right? Okay. So for industry, the first year IT auditor salary can range between 65,000 to 85,000, depending on the size of the company, depending on the location, depending on the sector. Financial institutions tend to pay higher, like they tend to pay the higher end of that range, even at entry level. Okay. One honest truth I would like to let you know about year one, regardless of if you are starting in Big Four or industry, regardless of whatever path you take, the salary matters, but the experience you are building matters more at this stage. Do not reject any job. Do not reject any job because of small salary. You'll be surprised at the potentials that you will get, the experience you would get. Year one is where you learn how to think like an auditor. Year one is where you learn how to document your work properly. Year one is where you learn how to communicate with business owners, especially if you have not worked in corporate before, and how to operate in a professional and audit environment. You would know, like corporate America, how it really works. That foundation will determine everything that comes after it for you. Okay, so that is year one. Year two, the first real raise. Year two is where it's often overlooked in salary conversation, but it's also an important checkpoint. At Big Four, year two associates typically see a salary increase that will now bring them into the 78,000 to 88,000 range. In my case, in year two, I got almost $13,000 raise in salary. I don't know what happened, but year two, I got almost $13,000 raise in my salary. And this is usually like the salary increase is usually tied to annual performance review. So it's not as if it is automatic that they give everybody increase based on your annual performance review and your promotion from first year to second year. So normally you get promoted from first year to second year, and then comes with a huge salary increase. It is not a dramatic jump, but it is real and consistent, especially in Big Four. There is no way you will not, get the increase. There's no way you will not get promoted as long as you are performing. Okay. In industry, year two salary increases are more variable. So some of the companies have structured maybe annual increases that they've already built into their compensation bands, while others just do it discretionary, using their discretion. If you are in industry and you have not had a meaningful increase by year two, I think you should have a conversation with your manager. Okay, have a conversation with your manager. The market for IT audit talent is very competitive, and your skills are growing faster than many employers account for in their review. So please make sure you have a conversation with your manager if you are not promoted in year two or you did not get a salary increase. One thing to note at year two stage: if you are the big four and you are considering that you want to move to industry, year two is, a natural decision point for you. A lot of people leave after year two, they go and take senior audit roles in industry. Okay, they take it at a salary that would have taken maybe another 1 or 2 years to reach if they stayed at the firm. So for example, you've moved to year two in big four, your salary is 88,000. At that time you might decide to move to industry, and now you're not going to go as entry level again because you already have almost 2 years experience. You're going to go for senior level in industry, and that means you're going to fall into the next range of salary of about 100 and something thousand. That is what some people do. Now let's go to year three. Year three, this is where it gets real. Okay, year three is where the compensation picture will start to look meaningful. It will look different, and a lot of people are surprised by how fast it moves. It moves very fast. I experienced this, and I know this is the norm. So at big four, by year three, you are typically at the senior associate level, and the salary increase is huge. Senior associates in IT audit at big firms would earn between 95,000 and 115,000. If you are in a high cost, remember I said earlier, like it depends on your location, the cost of living in your location. So if you're in a high cost market or a high demand specialty practice, that number can go higher. Year three, you could see an increase of as much as 20,000, $25,000 in your annual pay. Okay, the work will shift at this point though. At year three, you are a senior, you are no longer executing, you are now supervising, you have people, you are reviewing their work papers, you are leading clients' conversations, you are owning engagements on your own. Okay, that is why they will give you big salary increase. Yes, as high as 20,000 you could get that salary increase. While in industry, a senior IT auditor at the 3 year mark would earn between 90 and 110,000. Also, it depends on the company size and the sector. And I said earlier, financial services, tech companies, healthcare companies, they tend to pay the higher end of this range. And then another determining factor: by year three, if you've already had your CISA, which ordinarily I advise people to get it in year two or maybe year three. Okay, that certification will also serve as a support for you to get a higher salary. Year three is also the moment where a lot of big IT auditors, in a lot of IT auditors in the big four industry move to industry. When they do, they now start earning. That's when they start getting salary of 120,000 and above, and then they are looking for better work-life balance at this point, because the eyes would have seen shege with work-life balance in PW in big four. So they'll be looking to move to industry, for that pay rate, and also to have a better work-life balance. That transition is also almost very common. Like you see people moving fast at that rate. Okay. So now let's look at salary comparison at a glance. Let's go back. So year one, big four progression, you start with associate, 72 to 85,000, year two, 78 to 88,000, year three, 95 to 115,000, year five plus 120 to 150,000, and so on and so forth. And this is for industry progression. This is what you would see for industry progression. Okay. Now let's talk about year five to year 10. Year five to year 10, by year five at big four, automatically you are likely at the manager level. IT audit managers at Big Four would normally or typically earn between 120,000 and $150,000 in base salary. At the senior manager level, which most people reach around year 7 to year 9, that range will move above $150,000. Yes. Okay, with total compensation, including bonuses, like it tends to move higher. While in industry, a 5-year IT audit person, career person or professional that's progressed to an audit lead or maybe progressed to a manager role would typically earn between the range of maybe 110 to 135,000. And then by the 8 to 10 year mark, in a director or senior management manager capacity, they are moving to the range of 130,000 to 160,000. Okay. Again, financial services is consistently like one of the highest paying sector for IT audit professionals at every level. Like if you are working, in financial service, banks, they tend to pay higher. Um, Healthcare also pay, like healthcare industries or technology industries, they also pay, very close to financial services. One thing I would like to say, if compensation growth is a priority for you as you build your career, you need to be particular about the sector you pick. The sector you choose to specialize in will matter as much as the title you hold. Okay, so you can be a senior associate in a financial institution and be earning 140,000 or 150,000, and you can be a senior associate in another industry and you will not be earning 100,000. So the sector you choose will also help you. I've given you a tip. Financial services tend to pay higher. Okay. Now let's see what can help me. Like, how can I pause? What can help me to speed up my progression? What can help me to jump and move to this higher level salary? A few things that can accelerate this progression faster for you than like the standard timeline. One, make sure you get your CISA certification early, maybe by year 2 or year 3. Make sure you are competent. And don't just be competent. Let your manager, okay, let your manager, your relationship leader, let them know you are ready. I remember back then in Big Four, I got my promotion earlier than necessary. I think I got my promotion to a senior associate at year 1.5. And it was one of my mentors that advised me, like, hey, you don't have to wait for year 2 or year 2.5 to get to senior associate. Go let your relationship leader, your director, know that you are ready to be a senior associate. And thank God that my work was showing it at that time. So it was a conversation I had and I was able to get it. And it was like I just went and said, oh, I am ready, to stand in the position of a senior associate. And they put me up for promotion. Some people are not ready. Okay, so it goes beyond you having your CISA, being competent. You need to voice out your desire. In Big Four, I don't know about industry. Okay, you need to let them know, hey, I am ready for the next level. If you don't say it, you keep quiet, you might be at that same spot. So strategic moves between Big Four and industry at the right moment is usually between year 2 and 4. And it would help you like with a salary jump, with a salary increase, instead of you waiting, in that internal position you are in. So get CISA early, do strategic Big Four to industry move, specialize in high demand areas, cloud audit, SOX ITGC. I teach SOX. I teach ITGC. That's what I do in Lions Academy. It is an evergreen space. It is in high demand. SOX audit, IT general control is in high demand, and third party risk management. All of these command a premium in the market. Negotiate every offer. The first offer is really the final number. Make sure that you are negotiating, okay? Make sure you are negotiating. When they tell you a salary, don't just take it. I know you are desperate. I know you need a job, but trust me, that is not the final salary. So when they give you a salary offer, make sure you negotiate for a higher one. Okay. IT audit is one of the most financially rewarding career paths you can build in finance and technology space. You cannot underestimate it. You cannot undermine it. The progression is real. The demand is consistent, and the ceiling is genuinely high if you build with intention. IT audit is an evergreen career. Okay. So if you want to build a foundation that makes all of these numbers possible, you want to earn this big money, my IT audit fundamentals bundle is linked in the description below. You can also get my roadmap where you will get direction on how to start, what to read weekly to be able to achieve your goal. Okay. So you can use my roadmap from where you are today to your first or next IT audit role. The IT audit roadmap is also a very essential tool to guide you. Okay. If you enjoyed this video, make sure you like the video, make sure you thumbs up, make sure you share with your friends, make sure you let me know in the comment section that it gave you real clarity. Also, share it with someone in your network who is still thinking or weighing whether IT audit career is worth it. And don't forget, drop a comment. Tell me where you are right now. Are you just starting out? Are you already in the field? Are you aiming for that manager title? I want to know. I would like to see you in my next video. Make sure you learn with purpose, you grow with confidence, and you lead with grace. My name is Layo, founder of Lions Academy. Have a very pleasant day. Thank